You see the video, you see the channel, man, let's hop right into it. How to be invisible online. I'm talking he.
So, you want to be untraceable online, completely invisible, a digital ghost. No small feat to accomplish. Maybe you watched Mr. Robot once, and now you're ready to outwit the NSA, the FBI, and every bored data broker with a Wi Fi connection. Well, buckle up, because the only foolproof way to be 100% untraceable is to do exactly what this wise Redditor suggested. Turn off your computer and go outside. Of course, that kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it? We like being online. We just don't like being tracked, profiled, and watched like a hawk.
You know what's funny? I remember last 2 weeks ago, I broke my phone. My phone is fixed now, but I broke it. Dog, I couldn't call no one, couldn't do nothing. Called my dad for the first time, I think last week. You know he was frantic? I'm not even trying to make up a response. Like, he was frantic. He was like, "Yo," I was like, "Dude," like, cause I live in the East Coast. I'm all the way on the West Coast. So like 2 weeks to him on top of the 3 hour time difference, he straight up said, "Yo, I almost called like missing child." I was, yo, dog. I was like, "Are you serious, daddy?" Like, dog, I ain't hear from you in 2 weeks. 3 hours difference, dog. I was starting to lose hope. This thing right here, dog. If you're not able to have it on at all points in time, don't be surprised if people think you a missing chirp. You feel me? Missing boy.
So, today, let's talk about what being untraceable really means and whether you can actually pull it off, especially here in the good old United States of surveillance. Spoiler, completely untraceable? Probably not. But difficult to trace? Alright. That, my friends, is a game that we can play, and play it we shall. First, what does untraceable even mean? Are we asking for some mythical spell? When people say untraceable, they usually mean that nothing that they do online can be traced back to them and their real identity.
I'm gonna let you know right now, just so you guys don't get your hopes up, you will never, ever, ever 100% in your lifetime be 100% untraceable. I'll let you know right now. One of the good peer I have, used to work at NASA, and regular, not like that, just a cleaner. Put it like that, just a cleaner. Sending a text to your lady, to your spouse, they can see it if you're on their property. That's why I'm telling you, there's no way in hell you'll be 100% fucking invisible, bro. Homeland already knows everything you sending out. And you don't even work for NASA. And I'm just telling you what NASA does to their employees. Imagine what we do to their citizens.
No breadcrumbs, no data crumbs, nada. In an ideal scenario, you're a ghost. You post, you browse, you lurk, my favorite, and no one, not your ISP, not Google, not even the NSA's top secret Utah database, can figure out who, what, or where you are.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am. Ma'am. Once again, ma'am.
Alright, maybe just a good advertisement to stay until the end of the video, dogs.
This here is the NSA's Utah data center. It's a giant fortress in the Utah desert that allegedly stores unimaginable amounts of intercepted data. Yes, your tax dollars paid for a $1.5 billion facility to collect all the things. Being untraceable means that even facilities like these come up blank when they look for you. Ambitious, isn't it? Now, to be clear, there's a difference between privacy and anonymity. If you just want to keep your stuff private, then you want to control who has access to your data. Anonymity is just outright hiding who you are, like me. But keep in mind that whatever your end goal here is, if you're trying to hide from advertisers and nosy companies, or if you're trying to dodge the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, the PTA, and every other three-letter agency, the steps are going to differ a lot depending on who's after you. Hopefully no one's after you. No one's after me, right? If you're just sick of personalized ads tracking your shoe size, relax. You don't need to launch yourself into full fugitive mode, but if you're aiming to be an internet ninja that even the NSA can't catch, well, in the US, that's like trying to win a game against someone with a thermal drone and a pack of bloodhounds. In other words, it's tough. Fun fact, in leaked rules for the X-Key score program, the NSA literally flags people who just visit privacy websites, like you searched for Tor or read about Linux. And boom, you're marked as an extremist. All for being curious about privacy. So in the US, if you try too hard to be anonymous, you ironically stick out even more. It's the old wear a mask in a bank problem. Sure, it hides your face, but now everyone's watching the guy in a mask. Speaking of which, is the NSA watching me now more?
Probably. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know why they're not watching me because people I know that try to be anonymous get my content. See, the more you're out there, I think the less likely they are to think you as a fraud, which is stupid to me because all you got to do is make fraudulent information. And now you have like 30,000 different profiles that you got to decipher and which one is real or not on the same face. Like, I don't know if the NSA realizes how bad of a problem that is with AI. You can frame someone, morph your face, change anything, or prosthetics. Like, yo, it is incredibly easy to be a crook in 2025 and just not ever get caught unless they're going to go the extra mile on a regular civilian who's not rich. Spoiler, I'm not even going to continue. Being rich is just an easier way for IRS and everyone to track your money. I don't want to be rich. I just want to be well off and just have my money somewhere sitting and be able to do everything I need to do. That, my friend, is more dangerous than any person in the world, dog. They will be looking, you'll be famous just off the fact that you have money.
Hmm. All right, what kind of security solutions are available? So let's say you're undeterred by everything I just said. You're going full Batman Gotham mode, no traces. What do? Well, you use a layered approach because there's no single magic tool that makes you invisible. Think of it kind of like an onion. We love onion analogies. Multiple layers of protection. It all comes full circle back to onions. I swear, cybersecurity, it's just an onion. So, hardware and network hygiene. Your device itself can give you away. Ideally, use a burner device. There's a reason they throw these in movies. Something bought with cash or crypto, if you can manage that, not linked to you. Maybe a laptop from a pawn shop or a cheap.
Yeah, dog. As long you can make purchases, but as long as it's not linked to you, then you've gotten away with it. Because it's like a line, right? You have to get from point A to point B. People think that going here and driving around is going to help them. No, someone who's at point B is going to see someone going around. But if you go from point A to point 8.5 and somehow get the rest of the job done, you didn't lie about getting to point B. They just have to find out the other point 0.5. You know how hard it is to find out the other point 0.5 when you already got one? That's how crooks think. I'm just letting you know, if you want a concierge to this shit, hire me. But if you want some advice and stuff like that, I am not a financial advisor. I straight up don't mess with Uncle Sam. Why would I pay him taxes if he hasn't paid us taxes? We live here just as much as he lives with us.
Phone from a gas station. Paid in green paper, no receipts. And if you get a receipt, burn it. Because if your laptop serial number or your phone's IMEI is tied to you in any way, that's a direct trace. Next, your MAC address. That's a unique ID. Your Wi-Fi chip broadcasts to routers. By default, it's shouting, "Hey look, it's John's MacBook," every time you connect. So it's best to randomize it. Now, modern operating systems have tools or settings where you can randomize or rotate your MAC address periodically. Now, it won't stop a nation-state actor, but it stops the coffee shop Wi-Fi from recognizing your device ID. Also, pro tip, don't name your device John Doe's iPhone or Susan's PC. Yes, people do that. Rename it to something generic or just gibberish.
Nah, my shit just iPhone. The shit that it come out the store as is what it. That's what I mean by direct line. Like people, this is point A. You get iPhone. Point B is installing everything and making it yours. This part right here is staying anonymous. Point A to 8.5. I'm just putting in my iCloud. You know what I'm saying? That other point 0.5 that they expect you to do after, boy, I never do it. Like honestly, I have an iPhone 10, cracked out the mod. You get what I mean? Cracked cameras don't work. It can't even show up properly. Like, cracked cameras don't work. Can't even show up properly. And I just got the screen fixed. Never updated it more than 3 times. I don't even got space on it no more. I be getting backed up messages. They want me to go forward. Nah, that 8 to 8.5 line is locked in, my boy. I just need a new phone. I don't have no carrier. I SIM slock it. And even at that, the carriers I do have is from old plans that my pops gave over to me. Like you feel me? I'm me as a person. Oh yeah, you gonna have to find me. And when you do find me, you're gonna find that I'm a regular Joe. You just didn't get online. What makes it weird is that I'm young. That's the only thing. But when I'm 50, it's gonna look normal.
Every little bit helps. If an investigator sees logs of a device named FBI surveillance car number 4, actually, that might be pretty funny. But you get my point. If you can, consider a dedicated router or a special gadget that forces all your traffic through anonymity networks by default. There are projects like the Tor routers you can build on a Raspberry Pi called a Tor box that will funnel everything through Tor. That way, even your toaster and your fridge are accidentally anonymous. Because who knows, your fridge might be telling the NSA who you are. Now, outside of hardware, let's talk about operating systems. Running Windows 11 with your named user account while trying to remain untraceable is like if I wore a name tag right now saying my full name. What would be the point of wearing the mask? Instead, you want a privacy-focused operating system, something like Tails or Unix. Unix is a Linux-based operating system.
In my last video, I tell you guys how to get access to the dark web. So you're gonna get yourself a bootable USB drive, download Kali, download Unix or Tails OS. And once you download those things, you want to make sure you have a VPN or proxy, either which is optional, those last two, but that is for you to rotate your MAC address if you need to, and VPN is to go access the net where you need to on top of the relays that are being shown to you on the Tor network. You get what I mean? So that's really a nice little way to stay like anonymous without trying too hard to be like 007, just a USB, Tails or Unix, rotating addresses with Mac and VPN if you want to be extra. You know what I mean?
Specifically designed for anonymity. It actually runs as 2 virtual machines. One routes all your network traffic through Tor, and the other is where you do your stuff. The workstation only talks to the internet through the Tor gateway. This setup means that even if you screw up and some app tries to reveal your IP, it can't, because by default, it's trapped behind a Tor wall. And Unix comes with a lot of privacy tools right out the box. Tor browser, safe defaults, stuff like that. Now, Tails is another option. It's a live operating system that you boot off of a USB stick. Forces all traffic over Tor as well. And when you shut it down, it leaves no traces on the host machine. Basically, it's like Mission Impossible, but with a self-destructing operating off of a USB stick. Forces all traffic over privacy tools right out the box. Tor browser, safe defaults, stuff like that. Now, Tails.
For people who don't know what type of USB this is, because people got to know if they want to stay safe, that's a YubiKey. YubiKey, the only reason I know about it is because I used to work for Nike. And Nike, you can't access their secured remote workstation without a YubiKey. The YubiKey is like a USB plug-in, but it's so thin. But you can still plug it in. For those who have it, they know once you plug it in, I set it up either with the MFA on your cell phone, but I set it up with fingerprint. That's why you see his finger right there, because it's fingerprinted. So even if someone has a YubiKey and they see it connected, for them to get on and see what's on the YubiKey, they need a fingerprinted access. Invest in a YubiKey. They're like what, $15, $30, and then it'll make sure on top of you downloading it on the device, you can also have it fingerprinted and secure.
Is another option. It's a live operating system that you boot off of a USB stick. Forces all traffic over Tor as well. And when you shut it down, it leaves no traces on the host machine. Basically, it's like Mission Impossible, but with a self-destructing operating system. No logs left behind. It's a very nice. Now, a seasoned privacy guru will tell you that even operating systems can only go so far. They help a lot, but if you misconfigure something or reveal info in other ways, the jig is up. Still, if you're trying to be a ghost, using a purpose-built operating system is kind of a no-brainer. Your IP address is one of the biggest breadcrumbs. It's like your house address on the internet. If you use your home IP, it's game over immediately. That's tied to your ISP account, and by extension, you. So you need to mask your IP. Get it? So what are your options? VPNs, Tor, and proxies, or even chaining them together. VPNs, most of you know about this one. It routes your traffic.
I want you guys to know that I'm going to stop the video right here at the halfway point because I don't want to take away from the value that Mad Hat has provided so far. Like, I obviously know a little bit more than the average, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like this one is more catered to the beginners, how to be invisible online. Now, there's things I could probably learn from it, don't get me wrong, but I prefer to watch it on my own time than take from someone else's content. You feel me? I thought it would be something that I didn't know. Most of the stuff I said is already repeated, so no need to really continue. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, man, Hat, for providing to the community. We should get on this and collab, man. We're trying to wear a mask with you. Well, they already know my face, so I'm just trying to be Pooh Shiesty in person.